Contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. Today, 4 teams take the stage, but only 2 of them will make it to the final week of the competition. There are no more second chances. This is it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Day 9 of VCT America's Kickoff, coming at you live from the Riot Games Arena in beautiful sunny Los Angeles, California. Of course, I'm GB. You got Ender Van Silly. And by the way, just want to let everyone know real fast before I introduce the Legend Zap, the Royal Rumble was absolutely based. Anyway, moving forward, though, we are joined. I want to give all the time for this man right here. We're joined by 2G Zap, who's here with us today, brother.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure to have you here, man.
It's a pleasure to be here,
Crazy to think that you were playing challengers last year, doing all this stuff, and now here you are, analyst that's playing on VCT America stage.
Yeah.
Seems like life is coming at you fast.
Yeah, it's a dream coming true for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a dream.
Yeah.
If anything, lifting the trophy would be the first one, and then coming to this one to talk about it would be sick.
Exactly. Now, let's go ahead, though, and talk about what we saw yesterday. And if you missed the broadcast, well, folks, there were some interesting results, without a doubt. Now, we do want to, we have a deeper conversation about, some of the other teams coming on later in the competition here. But for the time being, though, I do want to really focus on that NRG Crew Visa matchup because, we all came into this one with the genuine belief that Crew was not going to be able to pull this one off. Mata's on the other team. Surely it's not doable, but yet they shocked us all.
Yet they did it, right? They started off with a really solid Abyss performance up against NRG. Then, after dominating 7-1 at the start of Haven, NRG bounced back. It got close after plays like this from Mata on the defensive side.
How insane is that, though, that in this series, Mata drops another plus 20 differential in a series. You also have Ethan that stepped up to the plate in that game because he tweeted last week, I didn't play so well. I'm going to step up this time. He went plus differential like a plus 5, but on fire and Abyss, yet they still lost.
Yeah, that is a heartbreaker. What did you make of the results? What do you think, Zap? Did you see... have you played Crew? Did you think that this was a possibility given your experience with those guys?
Crew is a tough team. They like those games, Yeah, they like the hard games. So... Yeah, that's it.
They like to get scrappy. You know? They like to be in your... Yeah, very much so. You saw it the whole time, right?
Yeah. You guys as well. When I was watching Challengers and Spike's just going in and then relay bolts and everything, and it's boom, chaos everywhere. And you're just coming out on top all the time. So I can't wait to see this bounce back where we could see a 2G and Crew. Be sick.
Yeah, that's what we saw that chaos, I think, especially on Bind with what Shy and Adverso were doing, just playing super aggressively. Even on agents that should be a little bit more passive, they were finding multi-kills that really carried them through to win that third match.
Yeah, we'll see if that will carry through today. Most importantly here, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket and where we are right now, because after today, we will be down to our final 4 here at the VCT America's Kickoff. Now, Sentinels and G2 will be playing at a later date. Our matches on the docket today is going to be Leviathan going up against MIBR, and then Loud goes up against Crew Visa. Great matches. We're all stoked here. And most importantly, the winners of today will face off against one another. So you're one step closer to punching your ticket to Masters Bangkok.
Yeah, but for these teams, it's a real grind, right? Because you have to win today, you have to beat the opponent, then you have to beat whoever loses out of Sentinels and G2 to make sure you get that slot. So it is a long journey ahead.
Because you only have one slot, really, to play for, right?
Yeah,
because in the upper bracket.
Exactly. Sen and G2 winner is going to be locked into our finals, into the top 2. So it's going to be a bloodbath here trying to scramble up to the top.
Yeah, the pressure is on without a doubt. Now, of course, with G2 waiting in the upper bracket, they have given us a lot of incredible moments. But this one is our Pulsar Flick of the Week. And here's Trent with what can only be described as offensive. This shot was absurd. Zap, what goes through the mental when you end up getting bopped like that by a great shot?
Oh, it's nothing to say. You just accept it.
Do you turn to your teammates, do they look at you in a moment of pity where they're just like, aw, poor guy?
It's just you say, nice try. Yeah, nice try. Yeah, nice try. Yeah, let's go.
GG go next.
Yeah.
NT.
Yeah, something like that.
The mental that you need, right? Because if that weighs down on you, that's going to pull you down throughout the whole match. So you need that resiliency, which I definitely do not have in my ranked games.
Preach to the choir. I hear you on that one, buddy. Now, Folks, we got a new face on the desk here today. We got Zap joining us from 2G. And you know what we like to do here on the desk? We like to have some fun, play some games. This time around, we're doing Agree to Disagree. And I don't know why I was so performative on that.
It's just a game, man. You don't have to take it so serious.
How could you, okay? Everything's a big deal here in VCT Americas. Now, folks, it ain't a complicated game, all right? The rules are simple. I'm going to say something, and it's going to be thumbs up or thumbs down. You guys good to go? See, thumbs up, thumbs down. We got new props, by the way. Ready? All right. Yep. First statement. Bring it up. It is Agree to Disagree. American food is better than Brazilian. Disagree on that one, bro. That was a hard disagree. I wouldn't even say that even if Zap was here. Okay?
What even is American food?
That's exactly what I was going to say. We have no, there's no reason to do the eagle. We have no cuisine. There's no culture. There's nothing. As a hot dog. Kurt from Plat Chat literally just said hot dog in my ear.
Even a hot dog is just a ripped off bratwurst.
That's it.
Nothing is original.
And that was from Europe.
In Brazil, am I wrong that there's croquetas in Brazil? Like the
Oh yeah,
dude. That when I went to eat at GCC, those weights that came in, I never took it off from Game Changer.
That's the thing for me was a pan de queijo. I think it was.
Pão de queijo.
Pão de queijo. Yeah.
Pão de queijo.
That was good.
Yeah.
Body
What's your
built
go-to
by
for Brazilian
bread
food?
and cheese.
What?
What's your go-to? What do you like to eat as your favorite meal?
Barbecue, churrasco. We call churrasco. And feijoada. Feijoada. Do you know feijoada?
What is that?
Oh, it's a Brazilian food that you put beans and I don't know,
it's like
a lot of stuff.
A combination of everything. I think, right? Yeah. It's like kind of like a mixture of a whole bunch of things put together.
That's it.
And you use the dust, right?
Yeah. That's it.
So good.
If that's in LA, we're gonna have to go.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, next statement. I'm sorry, we were talking about Brazilian food, and I lost myself for a brief moment. Apologies, everyone. All right, here we go. Brazil has the loudest fans. Actually, to agree with that as well. Well, actually,
okay, it depends if we're asking like the loudest fans like in here in Americas, because then I'd say like a Sentinels is probably winning. But if you're going into an arena, Brazil,
Of course, 100%.
Yeah. So I will say agree that Brazil has the loudest fans, but
I will also say though, because I've been in Madrid, I've been in a venue with Spanish fans. So insanely loud. Like that was one of the crazy experiences of my life. Was going into a big arena there. So there's some competition, but
and we got some stops this time around. We got Bangkok on the horizon. That's going to be a fun one. Why you said disagree?
I don't want you guys to hate me on this. Yes, I agree that they have the loudest fans, but they could also be kind of like the quietest ones if we remember Lockett. No.
You know what? I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up against that because. And sorry to reference League of Legends here, but I was in Brazil in Rio for MSI in 2017. There was no Brazilian team in the final, and that was the loudest building I have ever been in.
All right,
ever.
Love it.
Ender sounds like the loudest one in this room. Just trying to get his point. What the hell?
Last one. Let's see what we got here. Next statement. What is it going to be? G2 is winning kickoff and Masters Bangkok.
Yeah, and Toronto and champs. Okay, sorry. Okay, a team with the letters G and 2 in their name is
I got you.
I'm 100% on board with that. No agreements. No disagreements. Yeah.
We win! Everyone. Oh, wait, we have one more. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I thought that was the last one, but I was trolling, turns out. Let's see. Next statement coming in. Chat, make sure you guys participate. Loud is the best Brazilian team in VCT America. Zap.
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
100% right now.
This is a real one.
Did you think they were going to be before kickoff started? Because none of us thought they were.
They really were bigging up you guys.
Yeah.
They really felt like you
But
guys
we
were
know their potential. DJ Zing is amazing. I love this boy. And Vini is a pretty good IGL too. I played with him in a couple of teams before.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Did you pick up a bit of that IGLing from Vinny as well, like inspirations going into
something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we can always learn from one another.
Yeah.
That's amazing stuff. All right, well, let's go ahead and shift gears. That was Agree to Disagree. Hopefully you all had a good time with that one. But now let's go ahead and set the stage for our first matchup, and let's talk about MIBR. Now, after a rough opening match, this entire squad turned up. They eliminated Evil Geniuses and Vansili. This was the MIBR that we have been wanting to see, and by God, it was awesome.
100%. Even if you look at that first map on Abyss, they had so many rounds that they actually had first blood, but only converted 6 out of like the 14. So that means that or 9 out of the 14. So there were 6 of them that EG had to fight back, and they were trailing from behind and taking the lead 10-7. Somehow you thought it was going to be EG being able to pull through. But then you have Magic that comes out here of MIBR. They come back from a 10-7 deficit, and then they own him on split because they deflated the EG going to that first map.
Yeah, that was an absolutely brutal ending there. It was like, honestly, just sucked the air out of
They did not look coordinated at all on that
Yeah,
side.
it sort of felt like what we've seen from EG in a couple of their other series where they get an early lead, and then once a team gets, that momentum going for them, it all starts to slip away. And clearly MIBR, like with Osbos shooting the way he was going to do in that game yesterday, there was no stopping them.
Now, of course, there were a lot of players that had popped off, but one individual that we've been keeping a close eye on is Cortesia because, his individual, we were really wondering what he brings to the table here. Zap, you've played against this guy a few times. What can you tell the audience about Cortesia and what they should be expecting in this game?
He's a calm guy. He always knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he destroyed us so many times in VCB. But yeah, that's it. He's calm and he's got to do what we have to do,
Yeah, playmaker.
Yeah,
for sure.
Last year, too, he was playing Smokes with Red Canids, I believe. So were you expecting him to still do so well, even role swapping onto Sentinel?
Yeah, of course. It's a similar game style,
Yeah, more keep away playing. Yeah.
Like I told you, he's calm, so he knows how to play Sentinel. He grabbed the kills that he needs to.
Yeah. Definitely looked like he was finding his timings in the previous matches. And as much as we said that he's laxy-daisy and calm, but he was actually standing up in a lot of these moments and hyping his team just calm, like dabs and stuff like that too. So I like to see that coming from a newcomer, a new player, and that fits well into what's missing potentially into MIBR at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that I know about all of our Brazilian and South American players is that they have a ton of personality and they have no problem getting up and letting the other people know what's good. So that made me so happy to see just young voices being so authoritative on the stage. Yeah. It's so great to see that now. Of course, yesterday, though, we had a classic showdown between Osbos and El Diablo, but unfortunately, it wasn't really that close. It was actually, and I'm not trying to even disparage Ye on this, Osbos was just playing phenomenal.
Yeah.
How do you stop that?
No, I mean, look, you can't. Teams have been trying to do this for the last, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
And, the thing about Osbos is he has been consistently at the top of his game. He has been the best duelist in the world consistently for such a long time, and maybe Peak Ye could have competed with this, but Osbos is just on a different level.
Zap, does the results of what happened and how good Osbos played surprise you, or did you feel like it was a matter of time for MIBR?
No, Osbos is that's the normal thing, he's amazing, bro. Yeah, he's amazing. I have nothing to say.
What's even more incredible is the fact that he's so good and yet he's so calm, so chill. Doesn't really wear that emotion on his sleeve so much.
Absolutely. And just to throw Ye a bone, they're one of those games he is playing the Astra, so it's not a true one-to-one stats comparison, but what Osbos was doing in server with an Outlaw or with an Op in his hand, you're just not going to touch it.
But I do remember one round vividly is because we did the comparison head-to-head of Osbos on a Duelist and then Ye on a Chamber, and we saw that on Split, and then you just had the suspense moment of them holding that A line from screens into orb, and you're who's going to be able to peak first? Who's going to have the better reaction? And it was actually Osbos.
Yeah, and I think that right there was that was the
that solidified
that told the story very, very well.
Yeah.
Of course. Now, while we have to mention that Osbos is facing his former team in an elimination match today, this is also the team that he won Americas with. Osbos has a history with this Leviathan roster, but I would imagine for him it doesn't really matter that much. He views every opponent exactly the same. Would you agree?
Yeah, he just destroys everyone. No matter what reach him, he just destroyed them.
Yeah, I don't think it matters who's on the other side of the stage, and it also doesn't matter what color jersey he's wearing. He's gonna win.
Don't matter the shade of blue.
Yeah,
he'll be fine no matter what. But he did manage to walk out with that victory there, the Americas win with Calm as well, former teammate, former world champion as well. There's a lot of pressure on that Leviathan lineup there, without a doubt, especially with Osbos on the other side there. And Osbos is a little tendency to take out his former team, Fancilli. He took out Loud as well.
Yeah.
It's been This guy's on a warpath, apparently.
And for Leviathan, it's going to be a tough one, too, because they, we already had the storyline of them playing against Jogimo, an old teammate as well, and that didn't look too good either. So Ospas, I think, is just stepping up to the plate. I mean, he continues to be very consistent as a main duelist. He can continue to play his own game. It doesn't look like in these off moments when he's playing defense that he needs too much utility to really engage and get these fights. Still very good. Still very flicky. Remember that Abyss one?
For sure.
It was kind of sick.
I think the main thing that Lev have going for them compared to other teams playing against an Ospas that they had on their roster last year is that you have a little bit more understanding of his style, because especially on a defensive side, I think so much of what Lev were doing last year was finding out where Ospas wanted to take those early fights. They don't even use a lot of flash utility to set him up. It was about whatever angles he wanted to hold. So they have a little bit of a read around that, and it's going to be really important to them to be able to sort of predict where they think Ospas is going to be wanting to take fights and dealing with him accordingly.
But that's more resources. That's more resources. That's more investment that you won't have for the later rounds. Just the fact that one individual can drive that much attention their way just goes to show man's to go.
And I actually wanted to ask here, Zap, because if you actually have to prepare against a roster that has such a star duelist, does your game plan usually have to revolve around shutting him down, avoiding him? How do you build these steps to counter this?
In case of Aspas, we just avoid him. You know, there's not much solution. He deals with every situation well, you know? So we must avoid him, and that should be fine.
The game plan is run the other way. Let's really get it. Now, of course, we do want to know how many eliminations Ospas is going to pick up against his old team here, whether or not he'll, overperform in this one. I don't know, though. I mean, honestly, I think when I'm looking at the rest of the squad, I'm even seeing other killers on the lineup. I'm seeing Artin over there that, forget about his Raze game.
No, his Raze is legit.
There's a lot that you could be excited about with this MIBR lineup here, and a lot that their opponent is going to have to deal with, because Leviathan beat up a fresh LA Furia, a fresh to LA, Furia. They just got here, and then they ended up losing to G2. Now, let's talk about this Lev team. Lots of hype always with Leviathan because of the talent on that roster, but it hasn't quite found its footing yet. Vansili, this is a great opportunity for Leviathan to establish themselves here in the circuit.
Agree. I mean, the question was, are they overrated or underrated going into this one? I think it's just on course, right? It's on par. You're playing against G2, right? Against Furio was a little bit easier as we saw the results because of the factors that came into that matchup. But when you're playing against a team that we're all saying that it's one of those two letters that's going to win champs and all the other events, then it's just normal that you're going to have that type of results and that they're on a different level. I think you were mentioning that, Zap, that G2, you see them, they're just on a different playing ground.
Yeah. G2 is another level, another level right now. Just like it.
I mean, honestly, when I'm looking at sort of preseason expectations to how they've actually performed, I would say they were a bit overrated maybe coming in, mainly because I don't think Demon 1 has performed to the level that people thought he was going to be. Right? That series against G2, Leaf was just finding him so often on that map they played Pearl. Every single time Demon 1 tried to walk out, take a contact fight, he was getting shot in the head by Leaf. So I think for Leviathan to live up to those expectations, Demon 1 is going to have to show up himself.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly the most startling thing coming out of that game, was seeing Demon 1 not find the footing, right? Got to find that next gear that's going to take you to where he was when he won a world championship.
I still think that we're giving too much discredit here to Demon 1 and his performance in that game against G2, because, again, it is still a G2 team, and G2 are definitely going to be a team that's going to be very prepared going to this.
But it was just 1v1s against Leaf.
It was 1v1s
Look, I think Demon 1's a great player. I want him to be a great player, not for him to get 1v1 3 times.
Let's think about that Yoru against Leaf there on that Pearl matchup. You are able to use utility on G2 side just so you could post Leaf in an angle that you are going to play against the
I'm not talking about those plays. I'm not talking about the plays. I'm talking about him peeking mid doors, getting shot by a guy in front. I'm talking about him lurking down B long, getting shot by Leaf, even though he's getting his tricks.
I love this red
I just think, again, it goes down to the players of G2 are well set up to fight against Demon 1, where for Demon 1, it's almost like an Aspas type of style where you are putting a lot of responsibility onto him to try to just do individual things and hoping that he's going to land the shots in that moment. But when you're so prepared and you're so patient on another team and you just watch the angle, you just walk into it, boop, you're done. And it's the Leaf. It's the Leaf, right?
I don't think Demon 1 needs anyone to cope for him. I think he just needs to perform at the level that we all
I'm not coping.
do.
I still think he's
I love this.
We all know we can be that good.
Yes.
Ender? No.
This is what you want. You want them to fight one another and bicker with one another. That's the game.
Okay,
That's the gimmick.
Who do you agree with, hey? It's going to be Ender on the top or me at the... No, actually, no, me at the top.
Let's just send it over to Elizabeth. She's standing by with Tex. Just take it, Liz.
Tex, G2 was your first big test that you had. What were the weaknesses that G2 showed you, and how are you planning to improve upon them today?
I'm going to make sure we work on our fundamentals today, play together, have good comms, and stick to our game plan.
Simple. Best of luck.
Now, look, obviously that was generic statement number one that was given by Tex there. But I will say, I don't want them, I want a little bit more fire. You know, I want a little bit more of that oomph, right?
They do have a good comp.
What?
He did really good against Furion Haven. He was farming on that moment. Maybe a little bit of a slower game on that, or a slower Abyss, but they got a good comp.
But that said, though, let's focus on Tex here for a second. I don't disagree about that. We also can talk about Calm as well. I'm curious how you feel about Tex coming into this year. Do you think like he is sliding in doing the things that the team needs here? Like, what's your read on Tex right now?
Yeah, Tex is a good player. He I don't know, he just do what the team needs him to do, you know? He plays Sentinels and he 1v1, and he must win the 1v1s that he took in the map. So he grabbed great kills and he's like a great solo player in the site, you know? He solo the site very well. So I guess that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and he's very confident too.
I 100% agree with that because you know he's flexing. He's played like a little bit of duelist here and there in the past as well.
He could do it.
Yeah. It's similar to a Leaf in a way, right? Where you have that backing of playing a lot of different roles and having the pressure to take a lot of fights where you have to be confident. And then when you can do that on a Vyze or a Killjoy, it just makes it so much harder to walk towards that guy's side.
And he's such a stable hand to have in those 1v situations.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, you heard his interview. He's
always calm.
Even
in those moments of intensity, you can turn to him, and he is always calm as a cucumber, without a doubt there. Now, they do have some more elements to this team, though, like Natank, for example, who we're starting to really see him, Vansili, come into his own each and every game. This EMEA import now making his way over here is really trying to make a name for himself, Vans, but so far, so good.
Yeah, I always thought that there was always going to be that jitter and coming into a new region and not used to the playstyle of what NA has versus EMEA that's very like exec heavy and trying to be more defaulty and calm. And now you're having a little bit more of a faster playstyle that seems to be fitting Natank quite well. He's able to get those forward positions and do hero plays. He even switches it to different roles too, as you saw him play on Raze here on Fracture, and he's putting up good numbers.
I think that's the most important thing, because if I'm looking at this Lev team and thinking that they're going to be able to do a lot of damage later on, I'm remembering like that Fracture map, like you're talking about, where Natank looked really good on the Raze. I also think that Demon One has looked a lot better when he's on those smoke rolls, whether it's the Astra or the Brimstone, like he was playing back in the day.
Might be more worth it to have him on those.
Yeah, because in a similar way to where we're talking about Tex, it's like now that the pressure is off and you can just focus on your game plan, the other team is going to come to you rather than you trying to seek out a lot of those fights. Yeah. I just think that Demon One is one of the best guys in the game at handling himself on that type of playstyle.
Yeah, I got pretty good on Raze, though. I got to say on Split.
I love this. I am a fan of all of this right now. Big fan. I'm glad you mentioned Raze, though, because I touched on it briefly. We got to give this guy his flowers. It needs to happen. That game from Artson on Raze was a freaking masterclass. Yeah. It was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. You're nodding with me, Zap. What did you think of that game?
Bro, Art is like a big friend of mine. I love Art. He plays every agent so well. He's so aggressive and
So this is surprising to you?
Yeah, that's surprising too. And he communicates so well. He's I guess he's the second color or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, and he's pretty confident. Look what he does. It's just like he goes on. He goes on and grabs some kills and having fun.
Well, look at his agent pool too. Like one map he's playing the Deadlock, and the next he's double satcheling at you on the Raze, and he's looking so good consistently across those different picks.
Yeah. Even in the games that they're losing, he's still he's still the guy. He's still there, like, supporting the team in every capacity. There's so many great opportunities for Arsene in this game to just pop off, and I cannot wait.
It's one thing that I'm really excited about this series is because you have flexible guys like Natank and like Arsene.
Yeah.
Depending on the maps we're getting, we're going to be having different people stepping into duelist role, different people stepping into smokes, into flashes, etc. So you're going to have a lot of very different styles map to map, and one player head-to-head that might decide map 1 is going to be completely turned around for map 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's continue the conversation with Arsene because Elizabeth is standing by with Arsene.
Artisan, there's been such an incredible change in MIBR. What has been the difference between the first match you played till now? What has clicked?
So comparing the first match to the others, we didn't have that much time of practice. So after we came here, we landed, we focused more on practicing. Things were getting better. We just need some time because we had a tough preparation for this tournament. But yeah, we're happy that we can finally start to show the world our game, you know?
Well, speaking of your game specifically, you have a very wide agent pool. You know, you look at all the agents you've played Sentinels, Initiators, you name it. What advantage does that add to MIBR?
I think it gives a lot of advantage because we can use whatever comp we want. Those characters no one wants to use, I can use it. So it gives a lot of advantage for like what comps and maybe what proposition we have in game, you know?
Well, best of luck today.
The versatility there of Arsene is certainly something to be admired there. Without a doubt, we'll see him take the stage in just a little bit. Now, folks, we only have 2 slots for Masters Bangkok, and you can make a case for pretty much any of the teams in the top 6. So we're going to do that, and we are going to spin the kickoff Wheel of Destiny. They told me we didn't have reverb echo. So I had to do it myself.
You did it yourself instead of speaking normal.
I was told reverb echo wasn't in the budget, so we had to.
Flashed.
Whoa, what is happening over here? Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right, there we go.
I guess we spent all the money on the wheel.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, honestly, it looks good. All right, well, here's how it works. We're each going to take a couple turns spinning the wheel, and wherever it lands, you guys are going to have to make the argument, and Zap is going to be the one to determine whether or not it's a real argument or you're a couple of frauds. So, Zap, why don't you go ahead and spin the wheel, and Vansili, you're first.
Let's go.
And, ooh, loud. Okay.
Low G! I mean, they are like an Amazon Prime package. From A to Z, they're gonna deliver on time, and it's gonna be pristine.
You're not saying anything,
It's well
man.
packaged. All 5 players are gonna be untouchable.
You're saying words, not points.
No. Well, there are good points, right? And they also have great shooters going into that one. And if it happens that they falter going to this one, well, you just go and return for free, and then you get a brand new product going into Split 1. This is going to be the perfect way here for Loud to be able to qualify for Bangkok and do well later on.
That's fraudulent. That's why?
I'm on our team. I'm on our side.
Let's go.
All you have
I'm
to
on
do is
our
say
side.
digits and up. Like, that's all you
Hey,
have
how
to
does
say.
it go? I don't know. Say something.
All 5 players.
Yeah, all-
Howard Zine, multi-fragger, right?
Oh, God.
Boom. Come on. Everybody's always like, Digizine, Aspas. Think about the whole team. Think about the whole team.
Yes, Vansili. Think about the whole team. Okay. Right.
Next one.
Spin it. Next up. Oh, spinning it.
See, that's 2.
We're obsessed with Loud, apparently.
That's
Sentinels.
Okay, look, now this one is very simple for Sentinels, right? I know a lot of people, they were disappointed. Oh no, we lost Sauce, we lost Tens. What are we gonna do? Well, slotting into this roster, first of all, Narrate looking fantastic for the team. Also, Bang, I think this guy's an absolutely elite site anchor, especially when he's on the Viper. This guy is completely ridiculous. His bind, I think, is one of the main reasons why 100 Thieves were so good on that map last year. What he was doing on the defensive side was sublime. This team also has completely changed their play style, right? You think about last year's Split, they were playing all this sort of contact, like double smokes, the sky on Split, very slow play style. But now with John QT moving away from Sentinel onto Initiator, playing Teo on so many maps, they're using that really, really well. I think his calling style has also changed a lot to play much more around precise execs instead of the slower sort of macro play. But he can still do it. He's a master of everything.
That was a very different response than what Vansili really gave us.
Amazon Lounge.
I don't know why. It was a lot of smart words, so I'm going to say disagree.
See, you're trying to say too many points. I got lost.
This is America. We don't pay attention to facts
I got lost.
I'm sorry, I said every player's name. Except Zekin. Okay, Zekin is also.
See, he forgot Zekin.
Yeah, so disagree.
Give me one. I'm going to take a stab before we got to throw to the thing.
Right,
for me.
right,
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Let's see. Who do I get? Give me G2. Give me G2.
They
Give me
hate
G2.
Sentinel.
I'll tell you why G2's going to win. Because my boy Valen's going to outthink everyone. Giacomo's going to outshoot everyone. And the rest of the team has incredible hair. And when you have great hair, that means you will find success in the world. Because take it from someone who is follically challenged. It's tough out there for you. Come on!
Gee, I went bald yesterday. I know what it's like. It's not that bad. It's just a little bit cooler on your scalp.
I still think you look good.
I am glistening on my scalp right now. How dare you?
I have hair and I'm still glistening on my forehead.
All right, folks, we got a great show for you all today. Day 9 of BCT America kickoff starts right now.
Vai ser a minha primeira vez jogando contra a Leviathan, vai ser no kickoff. As minhas expectativas é que vai ser uma partida igual a todas as outras.
And again, it's Aspas. It's a protagonist. MIBR obliterate EG.
I think Aspas is an insane player for me. I've always said it's like one of the best players in the world.
Gonna try to survive here. Oh my goodness!
It's gonna be hard facing him. But it's definitely going to be fun, and again, like, of course, my boy Demon One is going to come on top.
Khalil is finding value off of that peak, but that double face like that, Demon One again, finding another.
Eu vou me preparar do mesmo jeito, porque sempre acabo fazendo o mesmo preparo contra qualquer time que eu jogo contra, e eu tento estar sempre chegando da minha melhor forma, então vou me preparar da melhor forma que eu conseguir.
Brazilians always have a different game style, and you need to adapt and play against it, so I'm looking forward to it, and let's see how it goes.
Riot Games Arena, desde las profundidades, llega Leviathan!
Here comes Leviathan. This team, of course, both squads fighting for survival here, but for Leviathan, you're coming into this matchup, and a lot of folks not really giving them that time of day because of what they saw MIBR do before. But this Lev team, guys, is here to play, and if they find those moments of greatness, man, it is going to be difficult to stop them.
Yeah, it's been a little inconsistent for them, but when Leviathan are on, they are on. They've got the players to do some serious damage in this tourney.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing like what Calm can maybe bring to the table here. Some flanks, some good opportunities.
Also, he's bringing his plushie to the table. You gotta respect.
You gotta have the plushie game. I'll in full effect here. Zap, you feel pretty good about Lev in this situation? I know it's going to be a tough one against MIBR.
Yeah, no. MIBR is going to win today. No chance for Leviathan.
Okay.
No chance.
Right. So it's a bold proclamation.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's bring up their opponents.
E agora deem boas-vindas para os adversários. Façam muito barulho para o MIBR!
And MIBR, this is a squad that is starting to find their footing little by little, and the more that they do so, the scarier it is going to get for the rest of the field. Vansili, this team they got all the pieces.
They are definitely making me believe right now, going into from the lower bracket run. I called them to be my dark horse into kickoff, and it's definitely showing. And even at this point, maybe even a chance to qualify from Bangkok if they keep playing in the same type of performances. If not, I would still want to focus on this game today to at least beat Leviathan, because if they do, this would still be the biggest run they've done so far, the deepest run they've done so far as an organization in a playoff bracket.
Yeah, and they got a lot of excitement around them, right, with their new signings potentially coming in. But honestly, I don't know. I hope we get to see their split again. I hope it doesn't get banned. Okay, map 3 split with a chance to see the double duelist.
Zap's nodding, so I want to know what you're thinking looking at these maps.
2-0 MIBR.
Really? What makes you say that?
Aspas factor, you know? Yeah, Aspas factor.
To be fair, Lotus as the opening map is quite good, especially Aspas on attack. You know, you get him start going early on. I can see that being a real big problem for Leviathan to have to deal with.
If anything, I think it's going to go to at least a map 3 because MIBR picking up this second map on Pearl, they've seen something here that they could exploit against Leviathan that had a very, very slow game on that map against G2. Unfortunately here with the tail that was coming into that composition wasn't being activated to its full potential, and it felt really like the preparation that G2 brought into that could be mimicked by a team like MIBR, if not even elaborated to a point where this should guarantee at least a map 3.
Now, Lotus to me is really interesting because we haven't seen Leviathan play it, and I was wondering what Demon 1 was going to be on in terms of agents. Him going towards the Raze isn't necessarily a big surprise, but I think so much pressure is on him for this Lev team to succeed, especially on this first map.
I agree on that one. And on the other side here, we'll see what we get, but nothing all that crazy on the composition side, but still feeling quite confident there, Zap?
Yeah, no Tejo anymore. We're playing Breach right now. And Aspas playing Raze, he's amazing. So, yeah, it might be our.
This is a big head-to-head, right, between Aspas and Demon 1 for that Raze because of all these question marks that the community wants to talk about for Demon 1 on Raze. So I'm hoping to see this shine at least for the side of Leviathan.
I do think it's harder, though, for Demon 1, right? Because I think they have the Viper, not the Breach, as sort of like that second smoke agent coming in for Lev. So Aspas is already favored in the matchup and has more support. I don't know.
I just love this whole thing of like Aspas goes up against his former team Aloud. Aspas versus Ye. Now Aspas versus Demon 1. It's like, come on, guys. Is this an anime?
He's the Grim Reaper.
really has been, though. He's been stopping through every single step of the way. All right, folks, this is it. Let's dive into this matchup and see who moves on and who goes home. Send it over to your casters to go to duo of Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. Again, the stakes really tell the story themselves. Elimination on the line, and for MIBR, Dre, they started this way really from the beginning. They got destroyed by 100 Thieves, and then since then, they've had to do it the hard way, and now they're facing probably their hardest challenge since 100 Thieves.
They do have momentum, though, going into this. They've taken out 2 teams already, and Leviathan's performance against G2 was, like, let's just say it was abysmal. They got picked apart every now and again. Now, keep in mind, this is a way easier of a matchup in terms of the macro gameplay. Like, King isn't going to have to really work as hard running circles around him with Valen. You know, he's going to go up against Nauser, but still, it's still going to be a tough ask because of the fact that one team has full momentum riding on them, and the other
less so. Less so. And I think the other thing we have to highlight, we have to mention, the Des talked about it as well. That's the heavyweight fight that everyone's talking about. That's a heavyweight fight. Everyone has wanted to see Aspas against Demon 1. I think they're both, I mean, they're household names, right? Like, their resumes speak for themselves. They've had the privilege of dancing up against one another 5 times throughout their careers. Aspas besting him at least by 1, or only by 1, excuse me, 3-2. But the last one, or the biggest one, right? That lower final at Champs in 2023. Demon 1 and the rest of EG go on to win Champs that year. They're managing to hoist a trophy, but this has been a highly contested bout between these two.
Yeah, but it's such a different form in today's day. I mean, the Des said it very well. Aspas, he's always consistent. He always performs. I don't think I've ever seen this guy negative in the past, I don't know, what, 4 years that he's played this game. Yeah. So Demon 1, it's been shaky, it's been rough, but on this map specifically, he is on that Raze, which when we were looking at the stats, it's his only positive character this year.
Yeah, he has been, you know, really a shell of the Demon 1 that everybody grew to love and know. Again, the same Demon 1 that made that Champs run back in 2023. But for I think this is such a fun story because for Aspas, it's again continuing the consistency. Yes. Right? It's about continuing to deliver. And for Demon 1, it's how do you return back to that form? Speaking of how you get back into that form and how you deal with everything that's gone on. Earlier, we spoke with King about the perks of having a multicultural roster. Take a listen, see what he had to say.
I like joke around like Nathan because there's some, like, French is like really hard to pronounce. I just like start like joking around him. Like I say like, okay, how do you say like croissant? Because that's how I would pronounce it, you know, like croissant. And he's like, croissant. I'm like, yeah, bro, like Kolson, like I have no clue how to pronounce it, you know. So we just go like back and forth and just saying like funny things, and I teach him like how to say like thank you, hello, some words that I might not be able to say, but you get the drill. I mean, definitely like exchanging like words between each other. It's fun. We do like, I think we've done it since the very beginning of the team, literally.
You know, it is fun to get situations like this and teams like this where you're pulling players from a bunch of different regions and cultures and, you know, with the same goal in mind, right?
Yeah.
It's the same goal that a couple of players on both of these teams have had the privilege of flirting with or at least accomplishing. And again, it is the hardware, the big one at the end of the year. We are being told that it is a slight audio issue, and I'm being told that we should get through it very, very quickly. Again, Dre, we talked about the bigger story, right? We talked about stakes and what's at hand here, the chance for a run at Bangkok. Then we talked about the heavyweight fight, right, of Demon One and Aspas. I actually want to zoom in a little bit more here, and I want to ask your opinions on Lotus, because as you think about the year that they've had, for Leviathan, they had the opportunity to go to Haven, a map that's very strong for them. Instead, they opt to go for Lotus, a map that they have not shown this year. What are your thoughts on that approach?
That's the advantage. They haven't shown it at all this year, and they've been strong on it historically. Now, MIBR, they've shown a lot, 2 different compositions already, and they haven't...
And both bad.
Yeah, exactly, and they haven't really been able to get anything going on it. So they have the tactical advantage here, you would think. But then again, with how Fraud prepared against EG yesterday, you just don't really know what you're going to get out of this map. It's really going to come down to who starts off hot.
We did just see Aspas sit back up, no longer reclined, and that's a good sign because it means we are just about to start the map. Again, a best-of-3 win elimination on the line. Lotus, Pearl, and then, if necessary, we'll be going over to Split. And I lied to you guys. Aspas is going to have to recline one more time because we do still have another audio issue at hand. I think the other interesting thing as we think about Lotus is, yes, Leviathan haven't shown it, but I think you're hitting the nail on the head here. It feels to me like Leviathan are intentionally going to what feels like a weakness for MIBR instead of a strength of theirs.
Exactly, and Fraud is going to play into that. I mean, he already played mind games yesterday with Prodder. He's going to do it today with Itopata. And here's the thing, though. If Leviathan get frustrated like they did against G2, and we see another interview where the head coach is basically saying, hey, like, I don't know what they're doing. This isn't them. They're not even going by the game plan. That's going to be so bad for Leviathan because MIBR took full advantage of that same scenario against EG yesterday when they just completely flustered them and shut them out in that second map.
Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest pitfall, if you will, for Evil Geniuses yesterday. And I wouldn't expect to see that happen for Leviathan. But I mean, it's certainly something that was a key to the success for MIBR yesterday and is something worth discussing here. I think for MIBR, as we think about, again, the gauntlet that they've had to go through, lower bracket from the very beginning, if they were to advance here, if they were to somehow get past Leviathan, this would be a top 4 showing for them. And the best performance MIBR has had in a bracket run since the beginning of the partnership era. This is a mark, potentially, for, an entire redefining of MIBR and what they stand for.
And it's all built around Aspas.
He is going to be on the raise. Again, Demon One joining him.
Yeah, it's a trap setup here from Leviathan as well. It's going to be a full-on clash here.
A lot of presence on either side. So Paranoia has already gone out. Demon One already dealing a fair amount of damage. Aspas down to 20 HP. Artsy not much better off. But he's trying to creep around. MIBR getting a couple of opening kills. The attack standing strong. Or at least attempting to. As Lev, a little battered and a little scattered, have to reset.
Yeah. MIBR weathered that storm very well, dodging a lot of that utility and getting the opening blows in this first map of Lotus. And what's most impressive to me is the discipline afterwards.
Yeah, not forcing it, not really leaning into the number situation you may have on A.
Yeah, Calm was hunting. He was trying to get another kill right there, trying to get a get back. But MIBR, they played that so well. This Molly could do a lot of damage here. It could take some members of MIBR out, but it's popped a little bit too early.
Remember how weak some of these are. It's going to delay for a little bit. The rotation starting to come over on the side of the defense. Calm, the last one to arrive at the scene, is Tex and Calm both open it up. He's left by himself, though. Has to take a step back, 1v3. Remember how insane he was in their first series.
Spike planted.
He's got a lot to do here. 42 HP. In a 1v3 and a little bit of time to play around it. A hand betraying Noswer, but patient on the swing, spotting 2 and not finding any. MIBR get the pistol.
And discipline was the name of the game on this round for MIBR. They avoided all that utility that Leviathan threw at A, got the trades in their favor, and didn't overextend when Calm was trying to even the numbers. That just gave them the full advantage. And yeah, Tex, he delayed for a long time and the flood came through. But even right here, the triple swing to just secure the round, the first pistol, it goes the way of MIBR, and they're starting off hot here in this elimination match.
Are you really picking up right where they left off yesterday? They had a ton I mean, they had success really in every facet of the game yesterday, but that was something they were able to do well. A little pacey here out from Lev towards A. Team 1's gone exploring. Just has a classic.
Yeah, very timid, but the pressure was there. It's a fast speed up towards C. So just very basic protocols right now from MIBR. The consistent push and pull that happens. And Leviathan, they're left to their devices, seeing if they can do any damage here.
Spike planted.
Maybe snag a round away. And it was kind of a half-hearted buy here for MIBR. 2 ghosts still in play. Ospas the only one with some heavy weaponry.
The makings of the old
and he
Navi
swaps.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is so smart. Ospas, he's going to try to get as many kills as he can. They're trying to get that showstopper, but he's worse for wear.
They know where he is, and now all position has been given away. If Leviathan were intending to die to the spike, that task has just gotten notably more difficult.
Yeah, this is a solid approach on the anti-eco, or on the eco round for Leviathan. If Ospas gets going right there, you saw what the game plan was, what the idea was. It was to try to get as many orbs as possible, but with everybody falling to the spike right there, you do not feed that. That showstopper will not get brought into the bonus round or a potential first gun round. So already the strategic mind games being played between both teams. And that's something I want to keep attention to, Doug, in this match, is the head-to-head of Noswer and King. Also, this one right here, Ospas Demon 1.
That was what we were talking about earlier, yeah.
That's a stat you were talking about. So these are the 2 head-to-heads, though, that I want to focus on the most.
Where are you?
Got a bit of a standard default from MIBR towards A, but this time a bit of a different flavor from Lev. Looking to take some of that space towards C. That's a deep turret, too.
Yeah, it's going to give a lot of info. I don't think MIBR even cares, though. They're kind of brute forcing their way towards this A. Looks like there will be a pivot towards that B site after the manipulation of rotations.
Or at least the attempt at that, for sure.
Yeah, I think they want to give a little bit extra to keep that third member of Leviathan here, because already you look at the mini-map, Natank, he's already making his way to be a close rotate here.
King is the one in danger. If they decide to split towards B, they've got the alarm bot to help main, but King's the one who's going to get overwhelmed. Not really able to fight back, no help around. And now numbers the way of the attack, the spike planted too. Do they scale? Natank and Tex, shoulder to shoulder. And they're so paranoid about what else could be happening on the map. Look at how far Calm is, back still towards A. Not really accelerating, that's 1 kill found. Numbers now even.
It's a good opener, but what can Demon 1 do here? He does have the satchels.
Both timed and at the ready. Shenum buying a little bit more time with Paranoia. Tex has to take a step back.
The time's running low, Doug.
This is taking a very long time. Maybe too long. That's the bonus going the way of MIBR. If you're MIBR here, again, this is a map that you've struggled on this year. This is an excellent start.
And this start is all thankful to some really great calling from Noswer so far. Being able to manipulate those rotations towards the A site. Also, just the call of the investment on that anti-eco round that they had. Remember, we saw a stinger, we saw 2 ghosts, but into this bonus round, it was a full buy from MIBR.
That's the benefit of that, of the way that they invest like that, right? You put a little bit in, then you carry 2 ghosts, and depending on how the round goes, you still have plenty of options.
So they do win the bonus, and their economy, it's starting to build up. You have Noswer sitting on 6K.
Natank has a Bucky, no armor. What are you going to do there? Takes an aggressive line towards B. But MIBR, they've just been so focused, so insistent on A, and well, it's worked.
Yeah, and even when there was a stack here from Leviathan, they avoided it.
Yeah. Oh, the Bucky might find some value.
Yeah, unless Demon 1 peaks a little too soon here. Cortesia.
Oh, but then you still wouldn't be expecting him there, surely.
No, yeah, 1-for-1 would be ideal for Leviathan.
Yep.
But, I mean, Cortesia is playing this so smart. He doesn't really need to go. He's waiting for his team to make some moves. Now, there's the info. He's going to get crunched here, but a little bit too early is Natank.
Yeah, he tries forcing the matter. Well done by Cortesia there.
And look at the walk into A as well on the minimap. Cortesia doesn't even fall. I thought he was going to go down.
I don't know how he hit that.
I mean,
that was a full 180.
And he's had so many moments like that, even yesterday. He did the same exact thing to Derek. Tex, this is somebody that started off hot against G2. He does get an upgrade to that Vandal.
Right there.
But the round is done. That's 4 in a row now for MIBR. And right now, the game plan, it's working to perfection. What a strong start. And that's really making a statement.
You know, we can have the conversation around, again, the pick for Lev going into Lotus, right? When Haven was open, a map that they had found success on, they chose to go with what had only been played in scrims, too. And again, yes, it was a map that MIBR had struggled on, but I mean, with how this has played out so far, that's gross. With how this has played out so far, you wouldn't think that's the case.
No, not at all. Fraud, he implemented such a great game plan so far. The leadership that Ospas has also instilled in some of these rookies, giving them the confidence to do what we just witnessed from Cortesia. Like, MIBR have really shown that they're a force to be reckoned with in this tournament.
Cortesia, the only one towards A right now.
Yeah, and that's such a great stun to get that C default out, but it's a trap play set up here from Leviathan.
The paranoia could be really good, but where's the follow-up swing? Covered by the smokes, they have to take a step back.
Another full dodge of utility for MIBR, and on top of that, they use the smoke. So even if there was a trap, I mean, if you're Lev, you have to just spam.
Artsine just picked up his ult. I think that was what they were looking for, and if that was the case, then mission accomplished.
Yeah, and it's the way that they went about getting that as well. They avoided all disaster. The danger is gone, and that's utility burn now from the side of Leviathan that isn't going to be there for the retake.
I mean, it wasn't nothing invested on the side of MIBR either. They dropped a paranoia of their own. And
yeah, but they gain a breach ult.
Sure.
And now everything is going to ride on these two anchors of this A site. Calm. He's got to be very careful if he goes down here.
He's stunned. And there's the Rolling Thunder paving the way, forging a path for MIBR to move. With no real resistance on the site, Leviathan decides to take a step back, try to regroup, try to refresh, and then go. Calm finding the first success. A little bit of lethality, but way more needing to come through.
There.
Eyes on Demon 1 here. Again, the Raze has been his best agent this year, but Aspas getting the best of him from down in hell. King being able to overwhelm, numbers the way of the defense. Noswer and Shenum trying to do it on their own. It's now left onto the rookie, a 1v3. Members of Leviathan both weak. Yes. Spam just narrowly whizzing by his ear, but Tex is able to hold it, gets it down to 1. Time is short, he's gonna try to reposition, but not able to get away in time. And it was halved. Leviathan finally on the board.
Yeah, signs of life for Leviathan, and it's because of this kid on your screen right here, Calm. He was a big part of success early on for Leviathan in their first match, and for him to get heated up and warmed up like this, it could be exactly what Leviathan need to bring this one back to even.
I mean, that's the first step for sure.
He was in the face of so much fire. Yeah, well, not even close, yeah.
I would respectfully disagree with you there, but I mean, that's just me.
What an insane stat. Calm is 5-2 against ex-teammates. Hoping to further that here against Ospas.
Still a couple of ults on the side of the attack. I namely look towards Noswer's ult. If they try to hit onto Calm one more time, I mean, he's one pip away from his ult, but he's alone.
Yeah, and I feel like this time if he does fall back to that pit area on A, he's going to get punished. So another good call, though, from Noswer, understanding where the weak site is most of the time.
Yeah. Early signs let Calm find safe passage out from the site. And again, it's going to be a 5v5 retake on A.
Yeah, and how are you going to deal with Aspas here in this aggressive position? You know he's there.
You have to try to flush him out. What in the world?
Off of the satchel?
Again. Cortesia is insane.
Yeah.
Still a 4v4 though. As things begin to calm down.
And if you're Lev, you have to walk in main right here. You know that there's a trap play in heaven. That's the cue.
Brief tension starting to build. Aspas surrounded, not able to resist, not able to contribute.
One enemy remains.
And again, the retake seems to be fruitful for Leviathan. There's really nothing that MIBR can do.
And again, Calm surviving, not playing in the same spot as he did the previous round, but it was the Viper smoke that blocks off tree that was the impact there. Aspas thinks he has somebody covering him, but he doesn't. Everyone's able to walk in stairs right here once that Viper smoke goes up, and everybody gets to look and isolate Aspas in that fight. Once that drops, you just have the numbers game. And that retake, it looks so damn good. Back-to-back rounds for Leviathan. And now, look at all the ultimates on the side of Lev. They can further this streak of momentum that's happening.
The tides have turned. There's still a little bit of fighting here for MIBR though. Aspas again, one away from his rocket. Calm playing a ratty angle in the pit. What is that?
Yeah, he's all alone here though. Don't think it'll matter too much. MIBR, they're all geared up towards B, but a lot of these ultimates from the side of Leviathan are perfect for what is a B hit.
He's got the ult primed in at the ready. Off of the stun, they satchel out, they dog too. What's the cue for them to go? There it is, the lockdown drop, the Nightfall as well.
I mean, there's nowhere to really play this spike from. You kind of have to force the issue.
Or you have to give up the space, try to live to fight another day! And of course it's Aspas, who else?
Yeah, but so many players detained. There's a chance for Lev to bring this back.
If they can find him, but they've got to go hunting and they have to go fast. As it settles down, Calm again delivering. Now they've got the neural theft. They're going to have to navigate around. And MIBR have found safe passage out. They're going to reposition back towards A, and King's ahead of it.
Yeah, he guessed correctly here.
The question is, does he try to play this aggressively? Yes, it seems like he will. Not waiting for his teammate.
This is so smart.
All on his shoulders. That's a spike on the ground. But double-faced again. Calm left alone. A 1v2. Shenum deciding to commit to the spike plan as Calm goes hunting.
Oh, he's finding the timing, Doug.
Creeping around the corner. But he's not looking the other way.
Oh, and if you're Calm, this is so tough. This is so hard to predict.
Passing right by each other here is, again, this little game of Ring Around the Rosie continues. Calm, no real idea of where they might be. Has a spit, but he doesn't really have info. He doesn't really have time.
This is so difficult if you're Calm.
And he's guessed the wrong way. This just went from hard to harder. The 50-50 not going his way. Now position given up.
50 HP.
Cam cleared. And now the paranoia. That should clean things up. A 3K from the Sentinel as MIBR gets a 5.
And it's Cortesia with these nasty flicks that he keeps getting. The trades are so quick. The tap of the spike onto B, baiting out 2 ultimates, Doug. The Killjoy ult, the Fade ult. And now you're left but wondering, was there a little bit of miscommunication on the squad of Leviathan here to invest both of those ults with the spike not even being down?
One enemy.
Also making the mistake of trying to front Aspas in that moment. He takes out 2 players in heaven alone when he was just going to get detained for free. And there you see the frustrations already settling in with the coach. A huge mistake made by Leviathan.
Oh, they're fully sending here. Shenum has TP back C. But they're winning the fight on every single front. And of course, who else? Cortesia again.
An obliteration. And remember, he started off so rough for this MIBR squad. His second match against Cloud9, he goes even. Yesterday, that's when we really saw some signs of life from this rookie. And today, he's just on a different level, it appears. So warmed up, so ready to play. He's hit some phenomenal shots already.
It feels like MIBR really have picked up right where they left off. And you know, that's something that we see sometimes across esports, across traditional sports, whatever, teams that are having to go on this lower bracket run have that momentum. They have the, you don't really have a break. You don't get iced or anything like that. It's just, you're just going day after day. And that can be where these magical runs come from. And I know it's early days, but MIBR are putting together a very impressive first half on Lotus.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions. Is this a one-time bounce back, or are MIBR truly revitalized? And right now, it's looking like they really are the real deal, Doug. A lot of these shots that are hit, and even just the way that the trades are going their way, nobody falling this time around. Complete chemistry, complete teamwork in effect. And calmness as well. Very poised for a team full of rookies.
I mean, that's what they were talking about on the desk. Remember, they were asking about Cortezia, what is it that makes him so special? And they said he's calm. And you just saw that play out right there. I think he stepped up in a pretty tremendous way. Currently sitting at 11-5.
It's absurd. This is really a breakout performance for him. And he's only been getting better and better as the matches go on.
Yep.
And that's what's so dangerous about this MIBR team. It really does make you think, I mean, given a little bit even more time, they might be the dark horse of this lower bracket.
See the head coach for MIBR trying to command the troops. A 4-round lead for them. I think another thing that we kind of have to call out here, and this goes back to yesterday, in map 2 against EG, MIBR went 7-0 in gun rounds. 7-0.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Leviathan found a little bit of success here, but it's worth repeating. MIBR do not feel like they've missed a step.
And Leviathan, they need to get something going for themselves. Maybe after that timeout, you find a way to get some value out of this Odin that's in Calm's hands. Maybe getting a tank online. Tex, we've already seen the damage he could do with that Sheriff on the eco rounds. The eco rounds was one of the only things that Leviathan looked really good at against that squad of G2 in the previous match.
MIBR looked like they were waiting for a little bit of aggression on the other side of the timeout.
Yeah, they've been doing a real good job of identifying where the trap plays are from Lev and maneuvering around them in such a good manner. Bombardment of utility on the C site. It does get avoided by Tex, and here's that Odin.
Hotspot satcheling across. The rest of the team trying to follow. Shenum's the only one who's joined. Demon 1 already down. The Odin needs to find a little bit more success. Yeah, 1 is great, but a weapon has been upgraded too. The defense seems to be holding for now. They seem to be doing a really good job. Calm has to stay concealed. That's another one found, not able to transfer. Aspas left in a 1v2. Both weapons upgraded, but Natank is so weak. And this freeze out from Aspas. He has to try to isolate, get a pick, and then get it down to the 1v1.
30 seconds left.
But Natank playing this beautifully, not giving him any opportunity.
Yeah, now you're wondering if that previous IGLing from this man right here, King, if that's playing a factor into this, understanding how Aspas likes to play these 1v2 scenarios. Had the enjoyment of watching him do that stuff for an entire year, making such a deep run at champs with it.
I don't know how we even saw him.
Fickle dance right there, but the paranoia.
One enemy remaining.
It gets the job done. The tank just needs to tuck and hide away like he will. And Aspas doesn't get the clutch. Leviathan, they bring that round back. Something that was so good for them against G2 was the eco rounds. And this one, it wasn't a complete eco. They had an Odin, a Vandal, the Sheriff from Tex, like I mentioned. And that was enough to get the job done. But can you do it in an actual rifle round?
That was crispy out from Tex.
Yeah. He's so damn good with that Sheriff. So mechanically skilled. And this one. Yeah.
Whatever works,
exactly,
I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
It's stressful to be a Leviathan coach this early on in the year.
Fast towards 8 from Lev.
The push and pull once more. MIBR, they're willing to take that C-mount space. But Tex and Calm, they're the ones that got a lot of the entries. They're late for the rotations last time around.
Lots of utility here. Got a couple of nanos, a turret, the orb. I mean, trying to tank that orb and then get popped by the molly is, I mean, you're just dead.
Yeah, at MIBR, they don't want to fiddle with that opting to leave, trying to re-clear some of that space at A.
Well, the thing is, Leviathan have had A control since the beginning of the round.
But MIBR are aware of that. So you're about to see a set retake on this A space.
They try to go off of the stun and the satchels from Aspas.
And how can Natank help Demon 1 here in this moment?
I don't know that he can.
There is a showstopper, though, from Demon 1.
And it's popped.
No value.
No. But it's going to buy time and it's going to buy space.
And Calm, he's repositioned on this close left angle. This could go unchecked.
It's going back to that utility that we were talking about before.
Yeah, they hear the footsteps.
They don't really have anything to clear this out either. The nades are gone, the satchels are gone.
Oh, great break of the molly, though, from Cortesia. What a heads-up play.
That's only one, though. More to be found. The Paranoia is going to connect onto Calm.
But they don't jump the gun.
Both there, all three as they try to funnel out. And it's a blender. They can't find any way through. The push and pull, all going the way of Lev.
And that was so weird from MIBR. The Paranoia came through. It connects straight onto Calm, so clearly they have the set idea that there could be somebody there. But they don't run through that Viper smoke and take the challenge.
They just never looked that way.
Yeah, and that angle was paranoid, like I said. But the timing of running out and actually executing on the site, it wasn't there. And now the Leviathan members are getting hyped. They know they're back in this.
Another timeout called, this time on the side of MIBR. And you're right, it does feel like momentum shift. Leviathan putting together a couple of rounds.
And I will say that this is a great time for MIBR to reinforce their game plan. They don't want to overheat just because they're ahead. A lot that's been working for them has been manipulating rotations, the little back and forth, but the C hits have been what's been letting them down. So maybe a little bit more oomph of baiting the utility out at C and then ending somewhere else. Because right now, Tex and Calm are just a duo of nightmares on that C site. With that being said, MIBR will force a Vandal upon Aspas. Let's see what he can get done here. There is a Breach Ultimate online as well for Artsy, and it's the second one of the match.
Along with a Bucky.
And for me, this kind of leads me to believe it could be a little bit of A pressure, and then a lean towards B where that Bucky can get some value. Aspas is able to take those long-range duels.
It seems like Lev are ahead of that. They have some of the Killjoy utility there.
Yeah, but Aspas, he's creeping forward. The timing on this set play is not really there. Shannon will get out of dodge, and Aspas, he gets the freebie.
On to Demon 1, who has had a very, very quiet half so far.
I think he was sitting at like 1-8.
No, 1-9 now.
Yeah, I mean, there is a weapon there, and they do want to grab it. Aspas.
A lot of pressure on Worm. Natank did not get hit. He's got a position to make a play here. Meanwhile, King getting 2. The forced attempt here is not really coming to fruition for MIBR.
Yeah, I'm not really quite sure what the call was there from the side of Noswer. I mean, Aspas, he creeps ahead of that trap play, set up on A, gets that first blood, and it looked like they wanted to try to get that rifle out of that into one of their hands, but there was a Breach Ultimate that was invested in that round at B, but there was still so many members at A to deal with that.
Right.
And nothing to really back up Aspas when he was taking more aggressive space right there. Maybe a little bit of unfortunate timing, right? The barrel being shown through the wall.
Through the wall, yeah.
So maybe if Aspas gets by that little angle, maybe they could have gotten something going, but you're going to be wishing that you had that Breach Ultimate going into this round.
Op on the board for Demon 1. We haven't seen that at all.
And look at this little tangle that's been happening in this match. I mean, MIBR looked like they were running away with it. Leviathan are right back.
There. Toxins going up.
Calm back to A, where he was able to net some success at the beginning.
Pay close attention to the tank spot right here. Oftentimes, a lot of these close corners get unchecked this late into a half. Calm.
That's big. That's a duelist.
That's Aspas. What a great trade, though. Natank, not wise on spamming through that Viper smoke in stairs, but re-aggression right now from Demon 1 and King.
They've gotten a lot of space towards B. And so maybe they push their way through that, but you don't really have control anywhere else on the map. The extremities are entirely uncovered.
What's working in their favor, though, is that the spike has not been planted yet.
This is big. Shenum has to find a lot of value here.
Oh, it looks like King is...
He's playing anti.
I think King is wise to this. He's swinging him hard.
The satchel was there, and you're right. They clear the 50. Now the paranoia. They know exactly where they are. Our team's a little bit beat, a little bit battered, and now he's dead. Dealt with. A second for Demon One. And the round seemingly going the way of Lev. No heroics from MIBR here.
And an even half, just like that, in the snap of a finger. Leviathan, it was based off of the retakes, a little bit of heroics from Calm personally, but then they brought it back together as a team with set trap plays, re-aggression, and confidence in their retake. And this man with the Odin, putting in some damage.
I mean, a lot of heroics out from Calm, a lot of heroics out from Tex, and then King had some big moments too as they tried to manage the disadvantage. They were down big.
Yeah.
Claw their way back into this, get us to a 6-6 half, and I think this feels like the first time we've seen MIBR pushed since, what, map 1 yesterday?
Yeah.
It's an entirely different situation. We still have one more half of Lotus to play. We've got Liz, who's standing by with 2G Spike right on the stage. Liz, take it away.
Thank you so much, Doug. I'm here with 2G's Spike here. Give it up for Spike, everyone. So you won America's Ascension as their duelist, but you are 17, so you're too young to play in the Americas League. Talk to me about what it's been like watching your team on the stage play without you, for now.
Você ganhou o Ascension como o duelista pro time, mas você só tem 17, então tem que esperar para jogar. Como é que tem sido ver de fora o seu time jogando?
Cara, é uma sensação meio esquisita, porque eu tô lá, tipo, vendo dos treinos, vendo tudo de fora, vendo os erros que eu não via antes, então tá sendo bom pra mim esse tempo. E é isso.
It's been a little weird because I'm there, you know, when they're practicing, but I'm also seeing the mistakes I couldn't see before, you know, things that don't really work. So in the end, it's like kind of good too.
Looking at Americas as a whole, who are your top 2 teams to go to Bangkok?
Você olhando para todos os times que estão hoje na Américas, quais são os seus top 2?
G2 e Loud ou MBR. Eu tô entre esses dois ainda, mas eu acho que Loud.
G2 and MIBR and Loud. I am a little, you know, but I think Loud.
Okay, why Loud?
Por quê?
Cara, a Loud tá sendo muito sólida nesse kickoff. E eu acho que eles estão se dando muito bem com o estilo de jogo deles. Com o Kalazin, com o DG também tá sendo uma boa adição pro time. O Vini como GL eu acho que tá sendo muito bom.
I think they're showing a very solid performance with Kalazin, DG, and both the IGL. Vini is doing a great job.
Everyone give it for Spike one more time. But we have a 6-6 half to get back to. So casters, the game is in your hands. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Liz. It's been a ferocious comeback from Leviathan to keep this competitive. MIBR looked like they were poised to run away, but lo and behold, we're tied at 6 at half.
I will say, this is the exact kind of fight MIBR wanted, proving they can stand toe-to-toe with Leviathan.
I would say that's yet to be proven. We'll see how things shake out. I think as we go back to the match against EG, they ran away with it, right? They were able to just kind of stomp them, but tested for the first time in a little while. Now, their mettle being tested on the defensive side. You have a Haunt early out towards A. Meanwhile, the Viper wall back there too.
Yeah, putting so much doubt and uncertainty in the minds of MIBR. And now King, he has a real chance to shine here on this attack half. What kind of set plays are going to be done here? Bait of a trap here, Shenum. He gets dropped.
So fast. As soon as the wall went down, he did too.
Yeah.
Big out from Demon One too. You know, you start to talk about getting momentum and getting these kills online. Cortesia seems to have never slowed down. Second, almost snapping onto the third.
Even numbers.
But the attack nipping at his heels, and now a little bit of room to work, but they still have to get past this though, and Aspas has regen armor and a ghost. Really nice position from Calm too, but he cannot resist.
He can't execute.
And now the Spike in this weird no man's land situation where they don't know if the pressure's coming in from B or through the door. Demon One with 3 on the round.
Doubling his kills.
The raise against the fade. Space taken, space garnered. Spike sunk into the soil of the Site C.
look at the HPs right now. Aspas, Ghost Light Armor, and a tank, Ghost Light Armor. Who can hit the shots when it really matters the most?
A little bit of space has been taken from the defense already. Again, Snappy, but it's Natank over his shoulder. Demon One with 4. The pistol for Lev.
He's woken up. He's here to play. He was sharp. He was fast and precise. Demon One, he's sitting at 7 kills now, getting so close to that showstopper. And that's how you want your star duelist to start off the pistol round on the attacking side.
Yeah, huge pistol out from him.
One enemy remaining.
And he needed that for himself. Again, the only character he's been positive on this year, and keep in mind, very limited sample size, has been Raze.
They've played 4 maps. This is the 5th, and every single one has had a different agent.
Yeah.
For him.
And that's tough to be able to turn that on and off. Look, grabbing that orb at C.
One step closer to the rocket.
Aspas can't connect on the comm, but pressure was applied. Now you don't have to deal with that Raze nade here.
This gets really messy. They've got to win some of these gunfights early on, and the rifles are perfect for Lev.
It's all in the tank. It's all King. And it's all up to Aspas in a 1v5 with the Sheriff and 58 HP.
Not really even interested in giving them the fight.
No. He knows that Demon One will be trying to hunt for that orb, even if Aspas takes him down. There's a showstopper online regardless. And it looks like he's going to have to give it to him. Something that you probably didn't want to do. You wanted to avoid going up against that showstopper.
Yeah, not really forced.
Yeah.
Or not really given an option, though. You're
Right.
absolutely right. Forced into it is Aspas trying to fall to something other than a member of Lev.
Yeah.
Anything but that. But unfortunately not going to be the case. Calm will get a little bit closer to his pit as well.
A very, very clean anti-eco from Leviathan. Much like MIBR. And right now on this bonus round, a chance for Lev to kind of run away with this thing.
And to return the favor.
Yep.
Remember, it was MIBR who were able to convert on the bonus in the first half.
Yeah. And it's all going to be back on the care package that Demon One has, that showstopper. Let's see if he can deliver.
A Sheriff for Calm.
Yeah, very interesting. He has so much money in the bank. Definitely could have bought up here, at least a stinger or something.
Something, yeah.
Right? Stunning a tap of a door at C. That gives a lot of info to Leviathan on what the setup might be.
Spike scooped up.
Yeah.
Attention towards A.
Yeah, King.
Oh, Nasr's got a lot to do here. He might be able to catch him. But the timing just not in his favor. So they're going to use the rocket. They're going to find the A is vacant. Oh, almost connecting. Our team feeling some of the pressure. Now utility invested in kind.
Very early on here. Maybe you'll see a quick speed up from MIBR. A fast flood.
This is big from Lev to have gotten this far. Again, if they want to convert the bonus, having not dropped a personnel here is massive. Shannon will fall. Demon One on the swing. Connects onto a second. Tries on the third. And delivers. 3 for him so far, and the bonus seemingly inevitable.
Talk about a resurgence. Look at that aim. That's the Demon One we all know. I mean, he was getting picked apart in his last series against G2. Not letting history repeat itself. And right now, Leviathan, it feels like they're running away with this one. And this is the struggle of running a breach on the defensive side. As soon as that fault line comes out, it can be kind of obvious of what the setup is. And running into a post plant against that Viper pit, against that Viper smoke right there at stairs, it can be so hard. That's the advantages of running this double controller composition that we've seen to be pretty common here on Lotus, especially last year. You can really work the map to your favor. You don't really have to speed up into anything.
I'll find you.
Use that recyclable utility. C-space gathered here. A bit of a scrappy buy here from MIBR, so Leviathan choosing to play at a distance, tap of the orb to bait out any potential trap plays here from MIBR.
Second time, third time's a charm.
Yeah. Interesting to put it on the Omen.
Yeah. I think they showed a lot of cool ideas with the Omen TP on Haven as well. So you imagine they've got something up their sleeve here.
A big key to success for Leviathan is King's individual performance. He puts up big numbers on that IGL roll.
If they try to brute force their way towards C, this could spell danger. A suck nade, the trip. There's still another one further up, and now refresh smoke. The only place they've gained some space here is Calm towards A. He's got to be quiet. He's got to be careful. Shenum's not far off. This kill is big. It's huge.
Just barely caught looking the other way. Now Shenum, he still has that paranoia online. The jump spot will give all of MIBR the info.
Yeah, I mean, time is of the essence. They don't really have a bunch of opportunities here.
But they're running into the Judge. It's a stack play.
Now Tank on the other side. Artine with so much to do and again overwhelmed. Corners closing in.
10 seconds left.
Managing to get the spike down. This was a lighter buy for MIBR, but there was enough investment to have a shot at this. But that window's just seemingly getting smaller and smaller. Lev gets to 10. That's full steam ahead for the attack.
And I'm expecting a timeout right now from Fraud, because even in the player cams, I saw Artine when he falls right there have a lot of frustration on his face. So maybe the pressure weighing in the minds of MIBR a little bit right now. This is their opportunity to have a little bit of a reset. There's the timeout. Fraud, I mean, you think of all the experience he's had, not only in his own career, but in coaching in this game specifically. If there's anyone that can do it, it could be him to get his team back into the game, get them right into the mindset. Right now, the IGLing of King. He's been putting on a clinic against MIBR on this attack half of Lotus.
You mentioned a couple of rounds ago how it feels like that's a key to the success for this squad. And, you know, when this roster was built, you wouldn't think that he'd be the one top fragging consistently, but yeah, he's contributing in every facet of the game, right? He's fragging, he's calling. King's been so integral to their success.
Yeah, whether even last year, whether it was King and Osbos or King and Mizzino, he's always been a top performer for this squad.
Yeah.
He's always had the ability to lead and execute under pressure.
8 rounds in a row going back to the first half. MIBR they've just been spinning wheels.
Yeah, what a streak. And again, like I said, Artine, he showed a lot of frustration after that last round, getting timing to Tank, running out of that front B smoke so perfectly.
Eyes rise to turn tides on the other side of this timeout for MIBR. They've got to find something, anything, to hang their hat on.
The problem is, Leviathan have done such a good job of this constant push and pull of identifying where the trap plays are, baiting them out, and then picking the right sides to end on. I mean, again, this should be a free B site. Nazwar, he has to give.
Immediately pushed off the angle, yeah.
Demon 1, the head-to-head here against Osbos.
Remember, he's been heating up. He's been getting warm. Meanwhile, it's been all quiet from MIBR for a while.
Showstopper online now for Osbos.
He's got to be the catalyst. Again, a dump of utilities. The spike ticks away.
The problem is he has no satchels to really pop out of this choke.
Artine's in a really good position, though. He's gotten behind them. Between that and Osbos crunching in on the other side, a kill traded back and forth. But again, this has been the trap.
Last player.
That's what slipped the net. And now Tex is left in a 1v2. No utility to play around. He's going to have to win these gunfights on his own, and he does! A 3K for Tex, the Red Bull clutch for Leb.
In the face of fire, the stable aim will prevail. Tex, he barely moved his crosshair right there. But he was cold with it. And he's been creeping up on that scoreboard as well. He wants the top spot.
Enemy remaining. Clutch.
Cold out from Tex, man.
His mechanics just feels like they've getting better and better. And Calm, he's hyping up his teammates here too. Popping out of his seat. They can feel it. They know this map is theirs. There was a bit of a fight in the first half from MIBR, but Lev they've really taken this one right out of their hands. And now an Outlaw in the hands of Demon One.
Starting to see a lot of the cracks that have been problem points, pain points, if you will, for MIBR and Lotus. And then when you have the heroics and, you know, the swing rounds going against you as well, it's hard to overcome.
Especially with a team that has limited experience. So early on for this MIBR squad. Shenum, he's one of those rookies. He's been having a rough one.
Oh, the spit right at his feet, too.
Yeah, and you'll take that trade, a spit for a Paranoia, any day.
A lot of presence towards C. They might try to split this again, given where Com's positioned.
30 seconds.
It's going to be a late lurk from him.
That's only tagging onto one. A lot can be done there for our team.
Tex again with a Molly lineup kill and then the follow-up.
The spike is not in hand right now. They've got to be careful. This can capsize on them. Investing the ult is Tex, and now space gained. The question is, if you're Leviathan, do you flood? That nade
doesn't break it.
No, just barely, so it's gonna buy some time. They try to fight in front of it, and Aspas gets his 3, but he might. Oh, he clears the lockdown, and now the defuse is gonna come through. I mean, what a mess that would have been.
That was so close. Can you imagine if he's just staring right at the spike, but he can't defuse it? But of course he clutches.
A knife's edge here.
He always does, Doug.
Player standing. One enemy remaining.
What a statement made from one of the best duelists to ever do it. The 1v2. Not allowing Leviathan to get to match point quite yet.
And finally something to cauterize the bleeding. 9 rounds in a row. The streak has been broken.
That's disgusting.
But there's still much to be done.
If there was ever a way to start a comeback, it's off of Aspas, the team that was formed around him. The rest of the pieces need to step up big now.
Got to capitalize on this momentum swing somehow. Demon One getting a little bit closer to, and now having that ult online. Is this the pop? Is this the go button? Yes, it is. Satchel's out, stunned, but not finding anyone home. Nazar has a big ult here on the retake attempt. Got to keep a close eye on that, and then the money is dreadful for the defense. You have to win here. They're knocking on the door. The Paranoia is out. The Nightfall 2. The tendrils connecting, excuse me, as our team falls. Off of the eye, calm, deafened, dancing around, buying time. As MIBR are trying to get into the site. Leviathan vying for any space that they can get. Nazar's left alone, a 1v3, and he cannot convert.
That Fade ultimate just getting no value because of the positioning of Calm, playing in his Viper smoke once again. He's been really able to do some damage, playing around his smokes, around his utility. And Demon One now winning the head-to-head against Aspas like that as well. It just really does feel like it could be the final blow on this map of Lotus for MIBR. It's a scrappy buy. Light armor across the board. Aspas. He's the only one with the heavy hitting weaponry right now.
And he's in a position to make a play. He's got help over his shoulder. He's not alone, but Shenum's the first to fall.
And that Paranoia, that hits everybody.
Is there acceleration on the other side of it, though? Yeah, it is, and it comes courtesy of Demon One. That should do it. They've even invested the aggressive pit. Cortesia has been spectacular for MIBR these last 2 days, even having bright moments on this map, but this might be a little bit more than he can deliver. A flawless round as Leviathan roar back and take Lotus.
What an impressive attack half for Leviathan. Really masterful, outplaying the defensive trap plays, the positioning. And Demon One, look at him sit at the top of that scoreboard, 18 and 12 on that raise, continuing his streak. Something that he struggled with a lot last year on NRG. A lot of people were bagging on him about how he played on that raise.
Well, and there's so much more in play than just the agent that you're playing, right?
Yes.
If you're a duelist, there's got to be pieces around you to help you go. But I do think it's worth mentioning, too, for Demon One is He was 3 and 9 at half.
Yes.
I mean, that's the duality of man I think we've ever seen it.
I mean, getting 15 kills on the attacking side, and it was all because of the start that he had. That pistol round where he gets the 4K, gets a lot of momentum going, follows that up, getting the showstopper up for that bonus round. It was such a masterclass on this map of Lotus, and with that win, Leviathan get one step closer to history repeating itself against MIBR.
And unfortunately for MIBR, the woes on Lotus continue. Now 0-3 on that map this year. Elimination is on the line. We will see what Map 2 has in store for us. We'll be right back.
Oof, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 on us. That's a value of up to $1,600, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.